All right, so let's try out some examples of figuring out what our sample space is going to be. So for the first two, for number 3 and 4, what we're going to do is that we're going to create a list, and using that list, we're going to be able to answer these questions. So number 1, Amanda will roll a number cube and flip a coin. If Amanda rolls the number cube once and flips the coin once, then what is the possible outcome in which the number cube lands on an odd number? Okay, so let's take a look at our examples right now. What we want is that for the number cube to land on an odd number. So right now, we're just gonna name out all the options that we have. If we roll a cube, we're gonna get the number 1. And what happens is that we're gonna also flip a coin. So you have a heads or tails chance of that happening. So you can roll the number 1 and get heads. You can roll number 1, but also get tails. For number 2, same thing. If you roll a 2, you can get a heads. For number 2 again, you can get tails. For 3, you can get a heads. Or for number 3, you can get tails. For number 4, heads, 4, tails, 5 with a head, 5 with the tails, 6 with heads, 6 with tails. So right now, these are all the possible outcomes that we can have. So what we want is that the number cube lands on an odd number. So all we care about is that they have an odd number. So right now, 1 is an odd number. 2 is an even number, so we don't count that. We have 3 here, 3 here, because those are odd numbers. 4 is not odd, but 5 is going to be odd. So we want to know what are the possible outcomes in which the number cube lands on an odd number. We have 1 heads, 1 tails, 3 heads, 3 tails, 5 heads, and 5 tails. So those are your outcomes. Let's take a look at number 4. The 2 spinners below are spun at the same time. What are the possible outcomes of the 2 spins? So we want all of the possible outcomes that we can have. So let's pretend we spin this spinner and we pick a 1. And then you move onto this one next, and then you happen to get a yellow. So one of your outcomes could be 1 and yellow. Pretend you get 1 again, but another option that you can have is that you can have red. If you go back to 1 again, you can get an orange, and going back to 1 again, you can get blue. So those are all of the outcomes that you can have if you first get a 1 here, and then the rest of them are the colors that you have here. What happens if you happen to land on a 2? Your next spinner, you can get a yellow again. For 2 here, you can get a red. 2, you can get orange, and 2, you can get blue. So that means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options of what you can have, and this is how you make a list of them.